Hello, YouTube. My name is Detective Queen, and welcome to a step-by-step tutorial on how to use MCreator and all parts that are MCreator. Now, I do just need to state before the start of this video is that this is not sponsored by MCreator. This is a completely my own thing to do with MCreator. This also isn't boy script, so I'm going to jumble up on my words and it's going to be very pants um uh during the video, so bear with me. Uh anyway, so I should also let you know that all links are going to be down in the description, as well as MCreator and a couple of the mods that I recommend using when you're testing out data packs or mods or anything of the such created with MCreator. Now, the screen that you're looking at right now is a data pack that I made, which is available to download on Planet Minecraft under alternate Minecraft recipes. Um I will also have that link down in the description. And what this does is it allows you to craft anything or pretty much anything that I've made in Minecraft. And it also has custom loot tables, such as I have modified the loot table, which is basically the item drops or item availability in from killing an entity, or even in buried treasure chests, or a dungeon chest, or anything like that, right? So a couple of the things that I have are like you can upgrade iron to an iron tool, or an iron armor to diamond armor, right? And you can craft a totem of undying, and you can craft all the musical discs, and you can recraft a spider web and decraft a spider web, right? So it's basically like this is how you're getting it. It's a manner of speaking, a different version to Minecraft. Now, it does modify a lot of parts of Minecraft, so some of the recipes that you would normally know are changed, but it also adds a bunch of new recipes, right? And we'll go over that in as soon as possible. The starting of it is how to create a um is how to create a workspace and how to use MCreator. What you want to do is look up MCreator on your browser, whether that's Google Chrome or anything like that. Give me a second. My headphones got tangled. And you want to go to the first link that says MCreator, the best Minecraft mod maker ever. You go to download and you press download. Now, if you're using an older computer, for example, mine is an HP Pavilion 360, which has an Intel i5, I believe. Yes, an Intel i5 8th generation. This can run really well on it, including if it can also run upwards to about 25 to 40 mods at one given time under a Minecraft launcher without it going too haywire and freezing up. So if you have a similar computer to mine, you can look it up um on the HP website and things like that and figure out if your computer is similar. But it will also tell you what your system requirements are and how much that you need. Minimal and recommended to get the full aspects of it. Now, all you do is you download it, right? And it's gonna ask you what you want to do. Now, I already have it, but I do recommend for you to select the exe installer if you're on Windows, the DMG image for MCreator, and the tar archive for if you have Linux. Now, it's very self-explanatory. You press run and it installs, and you accept the terms and conditions. that's pretty much all you need to do. If you'd like a step-by-step tutorial on how to install MCreator, I can create a video for it. Otherwise, I don't see a reason to do so. Now, after you download MCreator, you're gonna see this screen. Now, what this screen basically says is it'll show, sorry about that. It will show your workspaces, and then it'll ask you to create a new workspace, open an existing workspace from a previous version, import a file, so import a workspace from like the downloadable workspaces that people have, so that you can see how they made their workspaces, how they made their mods in MCreator, or clone remote, which is basically from a server. I've never used clone remote, so I won't be able to tell you that much about it. But regardless of such, all you want to do is you want to select new workspace. After doing such, you're going to have this screen that pops up. Now, it's gonna ask you which one you want to do. If you want to create a Minecraft Forge mod, if you want to create a Minecraft add-on, if you want to create a data pack, a server spigot, right? You would need to download the plugin libraries if you want to create a Fabric mod, Minecraft mod, or a Spigot server plugin. For this, we are going to create a Minecraft add-on. Basically, this does not require Forge, and I will show you how to add the add-on to your Minecraft. Now, when you select the Minecraft add-on, it's going to ask you for the display name. Basically, when you saw what it said was the alternate recipes or fun with the family, and the alternate recipes one that I have, that's the name, that's the add-on name for this. The add-on ID, you do not need to worry about, as we type it, it's going to also type it in here. So we do not need to worry about it. In this case, we're going to call it YouTube. Right? Now, or we're going to call it, actually, let's call it tutorial. For YouTube. Perfect. Now it's going to ask you where you're gonna save it. I recommend keeping it where it is, unless you're doing this portable, and then you want to change it to a workspace folder, on your portable drive. However, if that doesn't apply to you, don't worry about it. Don't touch it. All right. Now, the one thing you want to worry about, or sometimes worry about, is Minecraft version generator. Now, if we if we press this blue button, right, it's gonna ask you. It's gonna in this, you're going to see all the versions that are available for the selected generator. As we can see, we can do textures and sounds and translations. We can do functions, living entities. We can do biomes, loot tables, recipes. Some functionality with blocks. Some functionality with food. Some functionalities with items. And translations. We cannot create structures. We cannot create advancements. And I just selected the wrong one because I wanted to create a data pack, not an add-on. Don't worry. All we gotta do is press cancel. We press cancel, we press data pack, and then we reissue it. We rename it. If you mess up, you can always delete a workspace, or simply close MCreator, reopen it, or if you go to the tab for MCreator, and select new workspace and then create a new workspace from there. So if you mess up, if you went on ahead from me and you know um then you press create new workspace instead of as we went on, um don't worry. So if you want to change it, you have to select the little blue symbol or the name or the actual name of it. And in this we can see what we can do. So in the data pack, which is a little bit different, remember that there are texture packs, research packs, and data packs. Data packs allows you to change a lot of things, right? But they don't allow you to like add new things, right? So you can change things, but you can't add anything new, right? You can modify, and if you want to demonetize a villager, right? And you want to make it drop emeralds, then you can do that, and it's perfectly simple. Um, if you want to change the loot table of iron golems and you want to remove roses for iron golems, then you can do that as well. Again, I'll be showing you all of these things and creating a basic structure for all of them and explaining as I go what they all mean. Now, you're going to select OK, and you're going to press create new workspace. Now, when you create a new workspace for the first time, it's going to import the Gradle. Right now, this can take anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on your network connection, depending on how fast your computer is, depending if you have Gradle already installed onto your computer. It depends on a whole bunch of circumstances. Now, because I've already launched MCreator for the first time, and because I waited the 15 minutes for me as it took to install, import, and do the whole thing. As I already waited for it, we're gonna jump right through. However, I do recommend that if it's still importing, pause the video and wait for it to import before going on with this, as the breaks I'm going to take are what I'm going to explain. Alright? Now, everything that I will be doing, I will show you the simplified versions, the complicated versions of it, and showing you how you can edit things and make your whole data pack. I'm including the pack image and a description of everything. Alright, so you don't have to worry about looking for other videos. All you have to do is follow the series and we will go on with it. Now, after you do the import, you're going to see this little green button. To a previous note where I said if you messed up, all you have to do is if you messed up for the add-on part and you don't know how to create a new workspace, you go to File and press New Workspace. And at that part, that's when you would go to Data Pack and enter in that information. Now, we're gonna press the plus, and we're gonna create a new recipe, right? And we're gonna name this recipe Iron to Diamond. Now, as you can see with the registry name is Iron to Diamond. In the actual files that it creates as you make this, right? And then when you edit it for distribution, those are the names that you're going to be looking for. They're going to be called like iron to diamond .json or JSON or something else. I'm pretty sure it's .json, but again, that's we're not going there. This is to do it without any coding. Mostly, I mean, there's only one portion of coding that you only really need to do, and it's a copy and paste for a code. So again, super simple. So you're gonna press create new recipe. Sorry about that. I had to pause real quick. I was about to cough and I didn't want to blow all of your eardrums out. Now, in the Iron to Diamond, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new recipe for the smithing table. If you've ever played Minecraft before, which I kind of hope you have, so that you know what you're doing in MCreator. But if you haven't, the smithing table allows you to upgrade a diamond tool or armor to netherite. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it so iron can be updated. An iron tool and an iron piece of armor can be updated to diamond, right? So you're going to select the recipe type, right? You're going to select this, and you're going to go to smithing. We're going to create one of every piece so that you know exactly what you need to do in order, so that you know what to do. Timestamps will also be down in the description, so if you already know how to do this, skip ahead. Alright, so it will change the screen, right? So as we can see that it used to say crafting, now it's smithing. So we're gonna select the little text box right here, and we're gonna put in iron into this little display filter, and we're gonna choose the iron sword. Now, on your own case, you would be making a new recipe for every individual item. In this case, I won't be doing that. What I will be doing is creating a single item, and then I will pause the video and then create, to basically duplicate it so that we have all possible ones. I will explain the first one and then do a fast forward of the other ones. All right. So iron, and then you select the button that says use selected item. Now we're gonna select the new item, this second box right here, right? And then we're going to insert diamond and select the little diamond feature. It's going to say the name. All right. You selected item. And then we're going to create the biggest box, put in diamond again, and select the sword again. All right. Now, registry type name, you don't want to change this. Basically, this says, hey, is there a specific thing that you want to name this in the registry and how you want this to be recorded, right? I don't recommend changing it, as unless you know what you're doing, it could cause many issues. So do not modify it. Now, the recipe namespace, there are always going to be two options. It's going to say mod or Minecraft. Now, if you select it to be Minecraft, it will override anything in the game, right? So if there's an option in Minecraft, like let's say in Minecraft it requires you to do, like, I don't know, something different, like put a rose in there and it upgrades it to diamond or something like that, right? What this does is it will update the Minecraft files of it rather than considering it an extension, right? So how mods work in Minecraft is basically, as you can see on the screen, Minecraft will ask Minecraft first, and if the existing recipe or anything in there is not in the Minecraft files, then it will ask the mod or data pack or add-on or etc. Right? However, selecting it to do Minecraft will make sure that your recipe comes before the traditional Minecraft recipe, right? So this makes sure that yours takes the priority. Now, in this case, I'm going to select Minecraft, and I recommend, if you're going to change things in for Minecraft rather than just add things to Minecraft, select Minecraft. Okay? You're going to find the things that you need to change, but you'd rather change it than add it, because this will make sure that your mod takes the priority. Okay? Registry group type. Now, You don't need to add anything. Um, you don't need to add anything for this. However, I'm going to. And basically in things like JEI or just enough items or things like that, it will allow you to search for it for the group index. Because it's part of the indexed files that happen on for Minecraft. Oh, you don't need to enter anything. I'm going to enter in YouTube. It's just something that I do. Right? So we don't need to change anything here because these two options are if you're doing fueling or something like that. Um, but in the smithing table and in the crafting table, you can't gain XP for something that you craft or smith, which is weird. Wish you could. We're gonna press the big green button that says Save Mod Element, and now it's there. Now, if you want to copy this, right? If you want to duplicate it, and you don't want to have to go through select and press and then do the whole thing, you're gonna select the item that you want to duplicate. You're gonna press this little copy button, and then you're gonna, let's say, iron 2 diamond 2, right? Make it super simple. We go in here, we change the item to, let's say, a pickaxe. Change the item in here to a pickaxe, and then we press save. So we don't need to change anything. As you can see, it grayed out the Minecraft part. Once you save this mod element, right? It's not just for duplicate. It's once you press that big green button, you cannot change the name registry and you cannot change the namespace or what it affects, right? What's its priority? You can change the smithing, you can change the XP and the cooking time, and you can change the group name, but you cannot change the registry name and you cannot change the namespace. Please remember this and don't do my thing where I had to edit 25 different items after duplicating them. Because I was a big dum dum. Alright? Cool. Um, it will only allow this on newly created items and not duplicated items. So if you copied and pasted the item, the name registry and the namespace will be blanked out. Will be grayed out. But if you create a new item, it will allow you to do it. Okay? So we're gonna save mod element. Right, perfect. Cool. Now, why don't we create a crafting recipe? Like a new crafting recipe. Let's say the totem of undying. Alright. So, again, we're going to, for the recipe type, because this is a crafting recipe, meaning that we're going to use the crafting table for it, we're not going to change the recipe type. We're not going to be changing the registry name. For the namespace, we can actually keep this to mod. However, we can also change this to Minecraft. As there's no crafting recipe for the Totem of Undying, it's not going to change anything to allow you to craft it. Okay? And again, I'm going to name this YouTube. We're gonna select the big square first. We're gonna select the Totem of Undying. We're gonna select the top middle, and we're gonna select Emerald. We're gonna put gold on each side. We're gonna put a nether star. And then we're also gonna put an Eye of Ender. No, we're gonna put a... So I'm sorry about that. We're gonna put an Ender. an ender eye, an ender pearl. Sorry about that. My nose was running. Now, what I used to do, right, whenever I started MCreator, which was about 5 years ago, give or take 5 years ago. No, probably, yeah, 5 years, 4 years ago. My mistake. 4 years, because that's how long my MCreator profile has been up. So 4 years ago, right, when I started, and even to about probably a month ago, when I started, and to this day, I used to select craftless recipe, right? What craftless recipe allows you to do is it allows you to put it into any format. So what it'll allow you to do is to put this gold item here and still create the Totem of Undying, even if you want it to look like this. And JEI will also mess up the crafting recipe unless you do not select crafting shapeless. I recommend don't even select the option. Just never select it. Just never select it. Because there's honestly no need to. Now, what you might be curious is we're going to edit these two things. What if I do this? Now, what you might be thinking, if you're dumb like me, right, is you might be thinking that the only way that you will allow to put this 2x2 square into any 2x2 in the crafting grid is to by selecting shapeless recipe. No. What this does is basically say it has to be the gold has to be on top of the emerald. The gold has to be left of the eye vendor, and the gold has to be diagonally left of the ender pearl. And that's all it's saying. It's not saying that I can only go into this square. Alright? Again, never select crafting shapeless. I will even show it, right? By making it this 4 square temporarily. And I will show you how it works. Alright? Well, we're gonna create a new recipe for that. So let's okay. And then we're gonna save the mod element. And then we're also gonna create a thing, another crafting recipe, and let's call this blaze rods. And we're gonna say in this that it's a Minecraft recipe. We're gonna put it under the group YouTube, and we're going to select 2 gold pieces. Okay, and then we're gonna select a blaze rod. Alright. Perfect. Now, the final thing we're going to do is let's create a loot table. Alright, and we're gonna call it, we're gonna modify the loot table for the villager. Okay? Now, this is going to look very confusing. The first thing you want to do is go to here where it says loot table registry name. Select this down arrow and select entities/chicken. Clear the chicken part, but keep everything else. So this backslash right here, keep it. Do not change it. And then enter in all lower cases the entity. If it has a space, like if we're going to change like zombified villager, it would be zombified underscore villager, right? So that's how you would enter. Or if you want to enter in for a wither skeleton, it would be wither underscore skeleton, right? As in this case, we're only changing it as villager. We're only going to have one. Now, loot table namespace. We're going to modify it as a Minecraft. Basically, what this does is it sets our loot table as the one and only priority, and it will ignore all other loot tables. Okay? So our priority, our loot table, regardless if you have 100 different mods installed, our thing will be priority. Okay? Now loot table type. Now, very, very important. You can create multiple things, alright? But the first you want to do is select entity. Now we'll create an achievement for this just so we can show it, right? But entity. Don't select anything else because this is what we're working with, alright? Now, I will explain this as I go to the best of my ability so that you don't need to research it, because these little question marks that try and explain it, right? The parameter defines which type of loot table you make, right? And it's like, no, I want to know what's the difference, right? So, the difference is what's going to happen afterwards. Is it going to set a block at the exact X, Y, and Z coordinates of where the entity died? Is it going to drop items where the entity died? Is it going to do something generic? Which I haven't been able to figure out what generic means, and so I ignore it. Is it going to create a chest where the entity died? Is it going to happen when fishing? In the act of fishing? Do you just want it to be empty? Do you want to gift an achievement, or do you want to set the item inside of the inventory, or do you want to barter? Bartering is what happens with the villager. We're going to mess with that in the next episode, when we're gonna mess with bartering, so that we can change the villager loot tables, right? But as of right now, we're not going to do that, because no matter what we select, it's going to look like the exact same thing, right? Yeah, it's not really going to change anything, no matter what we select, which is why in the next episode we're gonna mess with that, probably. But again, we're just gonna have entity slash villagers, Minecraft, and then entity. Now, how it was explained to me is that the minimum rolls and the maximum rolls. This is basically you taking a dice, right? Imagine you holding a 6-sided die, right? How many times are you going to roll that dice? Regardless what number you get, right? How many times you want to roll it, right? Now, you can roll it, you can set it, like if I wanted to set it to set 1,000,000,000 times, I can and crash the game. That's cool. I'm gonna set it to once. Now, there is a roll within a roll, so mind with that. Now, for this, because we're changing the villager, we're going to have it as an emerald that it's going to drop, right? And the entry weight, right? If it's a single item, do not change the entry weight, right? The only time you're going to change the entry weight is if we're going to have multiple items under the said weight, right? So let's take it like this. Let's say I wanted to have a rose. No. A oh, tulip. Let's do a puppy. Okay? The entry weight is how often. Take it to like out of 100, right? Out of 100%, right? So if I were to say that I want this to happen 99 and this to happen 1, 99% of the time, this is going to be the item that drops, right? Where this is not, right? Only when there are multiple items is entryway actually going to affect what is taking effect, right? Otherwise, entryway is not going to take an effect. Now, we will create another loot table with an entryway, but we're going to wait on that. Now, the minimum count and maximum count is again a as a roll die, right? Kind of. It's how many times do you want it up to, right? So basically it's going to be a out of how many, right? So if I want this upwards to 3 times, then it's going to be 1 to 3 times. Minimum, guaranteed minimum of 1, but up to 3 of the item. Now you can select it as 0, which takes in a really good effect if you want it only as a 50% of the time. Right? So if you want an item to only happen 50% of the time, then you would select 1. Or if you want it to happen only, you want a 20% chance of getting nothing, 20% chance of getting 1 item, 20% chance of getting 2 items, 20% chance of getting 3 items, then you would select 0 to 3. And the same applies to anything else that you do. So what we're going to do is we're going to do max count of 3, minimum count of 1. Alright? Now, affected by fortune is if it is a item, if it is a block that is being broken. If it is not a block being broken, do not, do not, you know, like, don't select it. Explosion decay is, as far as I know, will the item drop if they are exploded? Let's select it, right? Let's select it. Silk touch is like if you have a silk touch pick of shovel and you're mining green grass, do you want it to change the item from a dropping the green grass to something else, right? So that you would have that under blocks and stone, not under entities. So again, we're gonna say ignore silk touch. Now an entry item, an entry item enchantment is if the item is going to be enchanted, right? Right. So again, another thing. Now we're gonna press the add loot table pool, right? And in this chance, we're going to say an emerald block. Okay? And in this chance, we're going to have the entry weight of 1 and a minimum count of 0 and a max count of 1. So that basically means that there's a 50% chance if the if a block of emerald will be dropped. And again, let's actually not have this have explosion, right? Or yeah. And let's add another loot table. And this one we're going to add three items. Let's add 4 items, okay? And this one we're going to add the iron sword. We're going to add the iron pick, the iron axe, and an ironed hole. Okay? And an entry count of 20. Now, again, it's you can do it more than 100. But I recommend that if you do it more than 100, don't add any other item, because then you're never going to get that additional item. Right? Because it's out of 100. Right? And I'll show you why. Because this is guaranteed to at least have one of these items. Right? So, we're not going to affect by fortune. We're going to ignore the suck touch. Okay? So now we have 3 items, and we're going to save. Now we have all 3 of these items. So I actually made a mistake. So we're gonna re-enter into the villager loot table, right? And we're gonna change all those 20s to 1. Um, because this is what I did, and when you have multiple of them, right? The only time when giving an entryway is going to actually be affected is, in this case, if we have it set as a 2, which means you're more likely to get this item, the sword, compared to any of the other items, where if they're all the exact same number, then you're guaranteed to get at least one of the items. Alright? Now, we're also going to modify the enchantment. So, the minimum is 0, and let's say the maximum is 5, right? Just because we're going to give it to them, right? Now the minimum count, again, we can set this as anything that we want, right? But we're not going to do that. And we're going to save the mod element. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to go to workspace, right? And we're going to select export the mod for distribution. In this, it's going to say execute incremental task, and then it's going to come up with this option. It says export and distributing the mod. Please keep in mind the following: when distributing your mod, you are allowed to distribute your mod freely under your own terms and licensing. You are allowed to abide other laws, etc. You are welcome to credit and recommend. Please consider donating to MCreator developers to make it possible for us to maintain and develop this software and offer you support and updates. Thank you. You can donate and export the mod or export with the mod without donating. If you haven't already donated, I would recommend donating to MCreator. Again, this is not a sponsor, but I recommend donating it because it is free software. So, we're going to select export without donating. We're going to go to wherever we're going to go. In this case, what I always do is I go to app data, roaming, .minecraft, and if you don't already have a folder called data pack right in there, just so it's as close to .minecraft as possible, so that, you're not having to go too far, right? You can also put it onto your desktop if you want to, but this is for OCD. Alright, when you enter in data pack, you're going to see it as an empty folder. In this case, my alternate recipes is in here. And we're going to go to tutorial. And I spelled that wrong. For YouTube. Save. Now, I'm gonna open up Minecraft and I'll see you when I get there. Now, like I've said before, if you plan on having multiple recipes, I recommend you having JEI installed. It makes it easier so that you don't need to remember the recipes, and JEI will automatically have it in there. Um, uh, just as a kind of heads up or something. So, I recommend you downloading Farge and selecting the 1.16.5, as this is the mod that we've made it for, and we're going to press play. Now, once your Minecraft starts, we're going to go into single player. Now, if you haven't made a world already, it's going to have create a new world. In this case, we're going to rename it to data pack testing. We're going to set it to peaceful. We're going to set it to creative. And then we're going to select the pack that says data packs. And we're going to open the open pack filter. When you open it, it might open up into the local temp. This is why I said you want to go into app data. So we're going to go to app data, we're going to go to roaming, we're going to go to .minecraft, and then we're going to go to data pack. Now, you're going to then take tutorial for YouTube, and you're going to drag and drop it here. When you drag and drop, it's going to ask you, do you want to add the following packs to Minecraft tutorial for YouTube.zip? You're going to select yes, and you're going to wait for it to be stupid and load. And then it's going to have this. Now, because we didn't add a pack management information, it's not going to say anything besides for the name of when I spelled that wrong. But don't worry, we'll fix that. I didn't realize I spelled it wrong. Don't worry. We're going to press this little arrow over here. We're going to make sure it's on top of everything. So, because what happens is that how Minecraft configures this is that it'll go from the top to the bottom. And so it'll go us, then JEI, then Farge, then configured if you have the configured mod installed, and then default. We're going to press done. It's going to validate it. And then we're going to press create new world. After it's done creating the world, we're going to again wait. Okay. Now, I don't know why it's being buggy right now. I don't know why. But we're going to go all the way up here, /set block squiggly, squiggly. Oh, 50 squiggly. Glass. Just so we can have a nice open spot. Okay. And we're going to give ourselves some items. So a smithing table, a iron sword, a pickaxe, a diamond, and we're going to give ourselves a villager, and we're going to give ourselves a netherite, We're going to give ourselves some gold, just so that you can see this being done in survival mode. More gold. We need an ender pearl, a nether star, and an emerald. We're also going to enchant this. So slash enchant at p sharpness, and we're going to give ourselves 5 and unbreaking at 3, and let's say mending 1. And then for this one, we're going to give efficiency, let's say 2, and mending 1. All right. Okay, so we're going to take this, we're going to upgrade it. So as we can see, the all of our levels from here to over here. Okay, and again, we're going to do it again. Oh, look, it's still there. And we're going to upgrade it once again, just to show you that it's not overriding nothing, right? Perfect. Now, okay, we're going to spawn our villager. Oh, look, he dropped 2 items. What are these items? An emerald and an iron sword with a smite 1. Perfect. Now, wow. We're going to also look up totem, and we're going to see that it's right here. Now, if I move any of these items, as you can see, it is not showing up. This is what a non-craftless recipe is, and I have it. And if I wanted to create it, now remember how we showed it there in the one creating an MCreator. We had it these two. If I do here, it shows it. If I do here, it shows it. And if I do here, it shows it. But if I do here, nothing shows. And this is because we did not select craftless recipe. If we had selected craftless recipe, or you could put it right here, and this item right here, and it would create whatever the item that we're looking for. Alright? So, my name is Detective Queen, and thanks for watching.